and welcome to the APMA podcast. I'm back with another episode for you guys. I hope you're all doing well. I'm doing all right. Thanks for asking. Much appreciated. Stay hydrated, everyone. Got some news stories to talk about today. Just getting, well, I normally say I'll get straight into it and then proceed to just waffle for about 10 minutes before I talk about any of the stories that I plan to talk about. I'm sure today will be no different. So don't expect anything different or any less of me. You know, it's going to be the same performance every week, every time. Anyway, sorry. Hope you're doing well. Drive safe if you're listening on the road. If you're at work and listen to this podcast whilst you're doing, productive things, I'm sure. Not just, sacking off work to listen to this. Or maybe you're on your lunch break. Happy lunch break. I really hope your lunch isn't depressing. But one thing is for sure, you need to stay hydrated. God, that's it. It hits. It really hits better than tap water. Ain't got all that fucking cholera and stuff in it, do you know what I mean? But anyway, yeah, we've got a few news stories to talk about today. One of them being, I'll probably start with the England coach. I understand if you're not a big sports or football fan, probably might not be interested in what I'm about to say, but yeah, Thomas Tuchel, England manager. What the fuck? I mean, I'm not one of these purists who say that the England manager has to be English. I'm not like the EDL of football supporters. I will only accept the shades of white, and if they originate from England, at the very most UK. If they're from Wales, Ireland, Scotland, Northern Ireland and Scotland, that's it. I could probably just about accept that as long as they're white or a shade of white. But the moment they're brown, nah. But to be fair, it doesn't really apply to this, other than the fact he's German. Thomas Tuchel's German. So, I know you can just picture the headlines if we actually do fucking win anything. The last time we did actually win anything was in 1966 against Germany. So, it is just written in the stars for something to happen. Either for him to purposely sabotage us and not even get us out of the qualifiers for the World Cup. Or if we do get there, just down tools and start putting fucking Harry Kane in goal or something, I don't know. But yeah, interesting choice. He's obviously won some stuff. When he was at Chelsea last, wasn't it the last thing he won? Oh no, did he win the Bundesliga with Bayern? I don't know. I can't really remember, to be honest. And it literally was like a season ago. But yeah, he won the Champions League with Chelsea, so I suppose that's something. He did fail with, PSG, who had a very good squad, but there we go. 18-month contract. Bit weird. He's got a year and a half to sort something out. It's a bit of a tight deadline. I don't even know how many years Southgate was manager. He did the World Cup in 2018. Did he do 2018? I'm sure it was 2018. The Russian World Cup, Southgate was there, I'm sure. Then he did the Euros, obviously when we got to the final, and lost on penalties against Italy. And then he World Cup 2022. Did we lose to France? I think we lost to France. And then obviously most recently the Euros. So we got to the final and we were beaten by Spain, who were the better team, let's be honest. And they played better football and it was more entertaining to watch the Spanish team throughout the tournament than it was to watch England for the last 6 years. But it is what it is. That's how we played. And now we're moving on to Thomas Tuchel, who does, in all honesty, probably play a more attractive brand of football. But it's strange because I don't really know what the fuck he was doing I don't think he was in a job. So just thought, fuck it, let's get him in, see what he can do. And yeah, we're just going with it. I don't really. There's going to be, for my great granddad. Was it my great granddad? It's so weird to think about this. Like, was it my great granddad or my great granddad? Anyway, I'm pretty sure one of them was a tail gunner in a Lancaster bomber. That's a plane, by the way. During the Second World War, I think. And the rear tail gun is not a great position, right, in the plane. When someone or another plane is chasing you, you're literally the first thing to get hit if there is any fire that gets to you, as in like gunfire, not actual fire, although that could be another risk as you're at the back of the plane, and I'm guessing it's probably not a great, clear, blockage-free zone if there was fire in the fucking plane. You're probably going to have a bit of a tough time to get out. But yeah, just imagine, can you just imagine if they're still alive today? Like, you fought against, these guys back in the day, and now they're going to take charge of our football team. They'd be rolling in their fucking graves. But look, it's modern times. German coaches can lead England. Do English coaches lead German teams? No. Because they're sore losers. All right? It's been a long time, but they still don't forget. No, I'm joking. Look, I think it's because Germany just have a better pool of coaches to pick from. Really, they're fucking just so much choice over there. Here we had Eddie Howe, and that's it. I mean, we could have rolled Big Sam back in. He could have continued his 100% winning streak with England. That one game he had. That was fucking funny, wasn't it? Big Sam's in the job. We're playing shite football. He's won one game, and then there's a fucking scandal that gets him sacked. It's how it goes. That's how it goes. But yeah, we'll see how Tuchel does. He's I don't know if he's notorious for being quite a hot-headed coach. He looks like he is quite a hot-headed coach. And he looks like he's been a bit of a troublesome character, maybe, possibly, allegedly, possibly, maybe even at the other clubs that he's been at. He just looks like a bastard, He looks like in an argument he's gonna fucking dive deep, into areas that you probably shouldn't go over something so minute. But he looks like the kind of guy who would fucking go for your throat straight away. But yeah, apparently he's gonna learn. He's said that he's going to learn the lyrics to the national anthem. I don't know if he's actually researched the lyrics for the national anthem, and I haven't either until now. There's not a lot of lyrics. There's really not a lot, and it has stayed the same other than, Queen Liz passing away, R.I.P. So we have to change the lyrics to King instead of Queen, and that's it. So, if you are interested, it's God save our gracious King, long live our noble King. God save the King, send him victorious, happy and glorious, long to reign over us. God save the King. It's a pretty shit national anthem, isn't it? It's not great. Whenever you hear it, it's always like you are only singing that for pride. You're only singing that for patriotism. That's a shite set of lyrics. I'm just saying it. And there's people that are being like, oh, Thomas Tuchel's already a winner because he's promised to sing the national anthem. He's fucking German, man. He's German. Why the fuck do we care if he sings the national anthem? I don't care if English players don't fucking sing it. I don't sing it. If I'm watching it on TV, I'm not like, God save our gracious King. I'm not doing that because I don't give a fuck. I don't care about the royal family. I get it if people think it's, for the country's spirit, but I don't really see how that's important to play a game of football. You show emotion on the pitch when you're fucking, 2 foot in the other team. That's how you get the crowd up. Maybe score a goal. Maybe play some good football. But if you can't do that, just start fucking kicking people. That's what we like to see. Nothing made me more happy than watching Joey Barton absolutely implode against Man City when it was it QPR he played for at the time? And he's honestly just fucking whacked. Oh, who was it? No, who was it? Was it Tevez? I can't remember who he did it to, but he just fucking absolutely kneed him. And it was so funny. And it got everyone off their seats. Like, yes, Joey Barton. I don't condone violence on the pitch or in general. Okay, this is a joke. But it did make me happy because it was just a man who had completely lost all composure. That, let's be honest, I don't think he ever had in the first place. But, yeah, get Thomas Tuchel on the pitch. Get him singing that fucking national anthem. He'll have everyone in the palm of his hands. Such a weird thing to obsess over, in my opinion. But anyway, apparently it makes you a better football manager. And potentially, if you're a player, it makes you better at football. Just singing the national anthem. There you go. That's my top tip for anyone who's looking to play football professionally. If you are, for whatever reason, watching or listening to this episode of the podcast, now you know what to do. Next time you looked over for some other high-flying fucking twat of a player at some club, you're being released, you're a free agent. Just remember, when you go in for the trial at your next club, by the way, I sing the national anthem. Oh, fucking hell. Fuck the trial off, mate. Do you just want a full-time contract? Like 2 year, 3 year? Fuck it, 4 year. On double your wages that you were on the last pro contract. Yeah, fuck yeah. I tell you what, if you sing it every match, we'll give you a bonus. Even if you're just on the bench and you're seen on the TV camera singing it, we'll give you a bit of a bonus. It makes you a better player. It makes us feel better as a club if you sing the national anthem. What a fucking joke. Anyway, that was Thomas Tuchel. Just want to have a quick rant / talk about it. I'm not really fucking upset about it. He's a fucking manager, innit? We'll see how he goes. 18 months is not a lot of time. So if he doesn't start getting results, he's going to be banished. He's going to be banished. I don't know if that's the actual term that they'll use. Or sacked. But I just feel like banished is a better thing to do to a German. Look, I love Germans. Klopp's my boy. Even though he's just taken up a new role as head of Red Bull fucking football or some shit. I don't know. Anyway, look. That's the end of the football discussion. Do you agree that Tuchel is was the right choice for England manager? Or are you one of these purists who like, get Eddie Howe in? He's borderline albino, but he's English. Get him in. Yeah, there are some people like that. But yeah, let us know in the comments. If you had a different pick, let us know that as well. Don't say something stupid like fucking, I don't know. What's the one that Gary O'Neill? Don't start fucking piping up about him. I don't even know if he's English. I don't know. Anyway, got any other options? Let us know. So the next story I want to talk about, and I will pop this on the screen because I will show the video, even though it is basically entirely likely that it's going to get claimed, just because it's that cool that I can't not play the video. That was the SpaceX rocket booster that made a landing after the test launch. I think that was on Sunday or Monday, just gone. It was really cool. I watched it live, bit geeky, I understand. I watched it live, and it was just, I don't know why it's so amazing to me to watch something come back into orbit controlled and not just absolutely cane the fuck out of the surface of the Earth. You know, there are lots of things that go into space and then come back down with no precision. They just literally are carried by wind with a parachute and they just fall into the sea. And whilst I'm like, that is a feat of engineering to get that thing back to the, you know, within our atmosphere after leaving it, to have a rocket leave Earth and then come back to the exact point it was when it launched into the same apparatus that it launched from, now we're talking like, you know, my dick's hard. That's how fucking geeky it is. That it did make the chub a little more chubbed. Let's be honest. So SpaceX, let's enlarge that so it's better fucking John mean. SpaceX rocket booster makes successful landing after test launch as it is caught by chopsticks. Now, if you are listening, I'll do my best to describe what's happening in the video below in a minute when I play it. But you heard the word chopsticks. That was they're not actually chopsticks, as I'm sure you probably are aware. I don't know what the structural integrity of chopsticks would be when they're trying to catch a moving rocket booster. I would imagine not great. So I think they just mean the chopsticks kind of make the motion that you would do when you eat with chopsticks. Which, by the way, if you can eat with chopsticks like proficiently, you are, in my mind, a fucking scientist. I don't get it. I can't do it. The best one is when I see people eat rice with chopsticks. I don't actually know how that's possible. When I know rice sticks together, sometimes you get like sushi rice sticks together. But when people like, I'm not talking about eating one grain at a time. That's pointless. Honestly, if you're doing that with chopsticks, I don't actually know if there's anywhere else you can go in life. Preferably jumping from a building tall enough to make a mess on the pavement, you know, would probably be the only option that I would give you there. But there's people who use chopsticks, you know, and get like a shovel motion going, and they manage to get the rice to stick together, you know, and then just eat it with chopsticks. I don't get it. I'm shy at using them. I have to basically use them with my finger and thumb and get them together, like pinch them together on a bit of food and then rest them in like the palm of my hand almost. And other times when that doesn't work, you just stab the stick through something, like a bit of chicken or something, and just eat it like you would do a fork. So, anyway, chopsticks just aren't the one for me. Are not the one. But they are the one for a SpaceX rocket booster that makes a successful landing. You know what I mean? I did watch it live, like I said. It was quite a sight. The catching of the booster was not guaranteed. Both it and the launch tower had to be in good, stable conditions, but the maneuver is considered a major breakthrough as previously early stages of rocket launch vehicles were regarded as expendable. So the reason why this is so like big news is, and I was trying to explain to my granddad at the time, bless him, he didn't give a fuck. He honestly was like, oh, that's cool. I've seen that before. Rockets and shit. He doesn't talk exactly like that, but I'm paraphrasing. And I was like, yeah, but the really cool thing about this is that the rocket, you know, parts of it come back. It's not like a, you know, one and done sort of job. It comes back. And he's like, oh. That was his actual reaction. Oh. That's it. You know, there's all this feat of engineering and scientific breakthrough on a rocket that can now be technically reused. And he's like, oh. I tried to tell him that it's quite a major breakthrough. But I think he was more bothered about uh what was he gonna have for tea, which is fair enough because not long after that he mentioned food and I was interested, so I was like, oh, what are you having for tea? And I was like, oh, hang on, what am I having for tea? And it turned out I went out for a meal. So there we go. And I was going to watch The Joker. It wasn't technically my choice because I am just resigned to the fact that that film is not for me. I'm not a musical person in terms of watching or enjoying musicals. I do love music, but I don't like musicals because I just feel like it breaks every bit of immersion there is going. And The Joker was such a great film, I really feel like just making it into a musical made it trivial to me. But there we go. I was going to watch it with my partner, but we decided against it, not to ruin our evening, because we had a lovely meal. I mean, we were going to pay to watch a film that we probably weren't going to enjoy. I definitely wasn't going to enjoy it. She might have enjoyed it. But yeah, not the worst decision I've ever made in my life to not go and see it. But yeah, if you have watched The Joker, Folie à Deux, whatever the fuck it's called, let us know if it's absolute dog shit, which it probably is. Yeah, so this rocket is one that returns and can be reused. I will play the video. There is no sound, I don't think. I hope there isn't. Let's play this. God, look at the speed of this. Look at that. And the chopsticks is like where it says it's kind of like basically pincering the rocket booster. But yeah, I watched this live on the news because my granddad always has the news on. I'm going to make this full screen. Always has the news on, and he's always watching it every single time I go around. I don't know why, because half of the stuff, he's sitting there listening to shit that he doesn't like. And I'm like, why the fuck are you watching this if it's, upsetting you? But yeah, so he had this on and I was like, kind of just, he was trying to talk and I was like, I want to watch this. This is cool. It's when it comes back in and the booster fires and it just neatly comes into position. It's really it's satisfying to watch. And if you are listening to this, I would implore you to go and watch this, because if you like science or like space or anything like that, it's just cool to watch. It literally pinpoint to the fucking millimeter. It goes back to where it was. It's crazy. It just, how do you even make calculations for that to even work? So it takes off, massive plume of fucking fireball, just pummeled into the earth to get it to propel upwards, as rockets, historically do. But it just boggles the mind that it's a reusable rocket. It just it doesn't compute because I've not really seen it before. You've seen things in films, in old footage, space junk and shit. But yeah, it's just when it comes in and it just levels itself off and then fires, three of the engines, or three of the, I think it's the three of the engines, just to make it slow down enough to neatly nestle in to what they call the chopsticks. It's crazy. It really is. It was honestly such a wonderful piece of scientific progression. Maybe is a better word for it. But yeah. I was like, my granddad was trying to talk to me and I was like, oh, shut the fuck up. I want to watch this. It's fucking cool. No disrespect to granddad, all right. I did talk to him afterwards, but I did try and implore him or emphasise to him how important it was. But he wasn't interested. He was more interested in getting his cottage pie. Cottage pies are great. The mashed potato is so key on the top, so key. If it's not, you got to get a little bit of the crisp, you know, not burnt. Can't have burnt mashed potato. If you got burnt mashed potato, I don't know what the fuck you're doing. But you can't just have it's got to have little peaks. I'm not saying you have to pipe it out like some people use, like what they do for cakes where they pipe ice and cream. Ice and cream? That's not right, is it? Icing. I know a lot about cakes. Eating them, just not making them. Because I can't pay attention long enough before I stuff it down my fucking throat. Do you know what I mean? Look, there needs to be little tiny peaks. Doesn't even have to be even. They can be odd, you know, just all scattered around. But they've got to be a little bit crispy, you know. Got to have a little bit of a black or brown tinge to it. That's the best. Cottage pie. Anyway, I'm not a chef, so you know, don't take anything that I say as gospel. But anyway, a SpaceX booster rocket has returned to Earth and had been caught by giant robotic arms. There you go. Following a successful launch of the company's reusable Starship spacecraft. I would like to point out, like, just quickly, a bit of a tangent. Several weeks ago, I did this story about how the astronauts were stuck on the International Space Station because the Boeing Starship or Starcraft, whatever the fuck they called it, unfortunately was malfunctioning to the point where they weren't confident in allowing the astronauts to go back to Earth in it. So now the plan was that SpaceX were going to send some sort of craft up there later on, perhaps this year or next year, I can't remember when it was now, to collect them. And, you know, if you're working at Boeing or you represent Boeing or you even know of Boeing in the public eye, if you don't know and you didn't watch the episode, Boeing, they make planes. So they're not like, it's not like they're making, you know, like shoes and then stepping up to spacecraft. They already make aircraft, right? So the next logical step is to make something that can go into space. But just to watch the sheer amount of positivity around SpaceX, which is your major competitor for the NASA contracts, right? Your major competitor is just swinging and fucking hitting home runs on test flights, and you can't even get a pair of astronauts back safely in an aircraft that's, you know, cost billions to develop and make. I'm not saying SpaceX is costing any less. It's probably even more. But I'm just saying that the two are so juxtaposed. You know, the positivity around SpaceX at the moment compared to the negativity around Boeing as a company is pretty mad. But anyway, it was the first attempt to bring the rocket's 232-foot or 71-meter super heavy booster back to the launch tower. 3 of its 33 Raptor engines were reignited to slow its speedy descent. It has 33 engines. What the fuck? That's crazy. And it needed 3 of them to engage or reignite to slow its descent. After separating from the Starship second stage at the height of 46 miles or 74 kilometers, the booster returned to Boca Chica, I might have fucked that, in Texas, where it's grabbed and clamped in place using what the company describes as chopsticks. Arguably, they look more like massive pincers mounted on a huge steel tower. They actually do. That would be a better name for them than chopsticks. The catching of the booster was not guaranteed. Both it and the launch tower had to be in good, stable conditions, SpaceX said. But it settled into position in what appeared to be a calm and controlled manner. The maneuver is considered a major breakthrough. Previously, similar-sized rocket launch vehicles like Saturn V crashed back down to Earth and were regarded as expendable. it's it's just crazy to think, and I've said it before, that this, in my eyes, wasn't made. Maybe it's just because I've got the vested interest and the kind of, I don't know, the enthusiasm for space, but the fact that this isn't like front page news. I know there's a lot going on in the world right now. You know, there's the Israel Hamas shit. There's still the Ukraine Russia war going on. So I understand. Like, negative news wins. It always has, always will. But this is a great thing, and it's not perhaps shouted about enough, apart from me. But yeah, so similar size launch vehicles like Saturn V crashed back down to Earth and were regarded as expendable. So basically, use once and fucking forget about it. Another picture of it there. Just as it's coming back down into the pincers, you can see the three engines, or the three engines reigniting, just to control its descent. It's I sound proper geeky about it. I know I do. I know, but it just, I don't know, it just lights something in me. I'm like, that's cool. That's sick to watch, and I respect the work that's gone into it. SpaceX tweeted that Mechazilla had caught the Super Heavy booster. Are you kidding me? SpaceX Dan's Hout said, I'm shaking right now. I will say that it was very, very American, as, you know, it was set in America, like all this happened in America, so it explains why the reaction was American. But they, upon the boosters' descent and arrival back into the pincers, or the chopsticks as they're called, everyone was cheering, which is it's a feat of engineering, it's a feat of science, it is a genuine point of, you know, technological breakthrough, right? But they don't help themselves. The Americans do not help themselves. They like kind of had, at the same time there was a reporter talking about what was happening, what stage of the descent the thing was on, and then it finally came in and the pincers grabbed it, and then everyone started cheering. You could hear cheering in the background, and then they cut to like a picture of the operations room where everyone was gathered, and there's like honestly so many fist pumps for days. I said fist bumps, didn't I? It's fist pumps, like they're screaming like, yes, fucking get it, yes. Like, it's just, I understand it's great, and it must be so exciting to see something you've worked probably very hard on pay off, but they just don't do themselves any favours, don't endear themselves to anyone, which is, you know, probably not what they give a fuck about. But I would have liked to have seen less of the people wearing glasses and the iron deficiency people, you know, fist pumping, and more of the scientific breakdown of what was actually going on and, you know, what this could lead to possibly. But we let them have their day, all right? They've worked hard, you know, they've crunched the numbers. The calculators are worn out, you know, just let them have a little bit of time. Fist pumping, that's all. This is a day for the engineering history books, added SpaceX Kate Tice. SpaceX owner Elon Musk said on X, which he also owns, the tower has caught the rocket. Just in case there was any ambiguity about the scenario, Elon has absolutely nailed it there. Space journalist Kate Arkless Gray said the booster was still travelling at a supersonic speed less than a minute before landing. The deacceleration involved in that is wild, she told Sky News. She added, SpaceX have really innovated. Even just a few years ago, the idea of bringing a booster back to land, or a barge in the sea, or land, what? Back to land or a barge in the sea. No one was doing that. I don't understand the last bit. Another photograph there of it. Very, just a lot of clouds, or some people probably call it chemtrails. You know, those people do exist. I might be one of them. If you saw the video, you know. The Starship's second stage, meanwhile, continued on into space before landing in the Indian Ocean west of Australia, following its fifth test flight from the launch pad on the border with Mexico. Splashdown confirmed, SpaceX said on social media, the Starship second stage and the Super Heavy booster are designed to carry crew and cargo to the moon and beyond. And, this is key, be reusable. The Federal Aviation Administration, the FAA for short, approved the launch only yesterday, weeks earlier than expected. Previously, the FAA said a decision on Starship 5 was not expected until late November, but it said Elon Musk's company had met all safety, environmental, and other licensing requirements for the suborbital test flight. It has also approved the Starship 6 mission profile. Musk has heavily criticised the FAA, partly over the delay in approving the license for Starship 5, which SpaceX said was ready in August. SpaceX describes Starship as the world's most powerful launch vehicle ever developed, capable of carrying up to 150 metric tons. First unveiled in 2017, it exploded several times in various stages of testing. In June, it successfully completed a full flight for the first time, and now it's completed a test flight. Amazing. It really is. And I get it. It's not everyone's bag. It's not everyone's cup of tea. Maybe they don't give a fuck. I'm just going to watch this one more time because it's cool. But it just excites me. Not that I think I'd have any involvement in it, but just to know that we're on that precipice, or approaching the precipice of being able to achieve basically carting goods to and from the moon, which is the start of settling or creating something on the moon, and possibly maybe in Mars a few, not too distant decades away. I don't know. Might be a bit overzealous on that one. But yeah, that was the SpaceX Starship 5 launch and the booster returning to the pincers. Great to see. Great to see. And I will implore you, if you do have any interest at all in space, right? Any time that SpaceX are doing anything, they will normally, if you follow Elon Musk or anything SpaceX related on Twitter, X, they do normally shout about it. So watch it live. It's cool. It is something that I would implore a lot of people to watch, because it is actually interesting and good to watch, even if you don't really give a fuck about space. But yeah, that's my geek on, off. I don't know. Look, shut the fuck up. Look, just allow it, all right? I'm told that's what you're meant to say, apparently. This next story. Now, I'm pretty sure, I don't want to say I got this wrong, because if I have, it's the entire reason that I picked this article to talk about, just because it was linked to Indiana Jones, and it's only linked to Indiana Jones because of the location that it is. It's the Petra site in Jordan. People will probably now tell me if that is correct. I know it was definitely in, as far as my limited knowledge of or memory of Indiana Jones films. I'm sure it was in a Indiana Jones film, but I don't remember exactly what one. If it wasn't, then I've completely fucked it and just picked this article because I thought it was in Indiana Jones. But it doesn't matter. Secret tomb containing remains of 12 skeletons discovered at Petra site in Jordan. The remains of 12 ancient skeletons and grave offerings were found in a hidden tomb beneath the Treasury Monument in Petra, Jordan. It's one of the 7 wonders of the world, so, if you're going to go to Jordan, you kind of got to go to see see this in Petra. Archaeologists have discovered a secret tomb at the Treasury Monument in Petra, Jordan, one of the 7 wonders of the world. There you go. A long buried tomb containing the remains of 12 ancient skeletons and grave offerings were found beneath the monument after research teams used remote censoring technology. The discovery comes more than 2 decades after similar tombs were found on the other side of the famous monument, which is a what the fuck? UNESCO World Heritage Site and attracts more than 1 million visitors a year. Only just over 1 million? I would have thought that was more. But then again, I don't know what the kind of tourism situation in Jordan's like. The treasury sits as the centre of the entire city, carved by hand into the walls of a desert canyon by the Nabatean people about 2,000 years ago. That is quite a long time. 2,000 years ago. You know, when Jesus was rocking about. Well, actually, what was it? Jesus. Yeah, Jesus would have been rocking around. Would have been fairly young. If you believe in that, I don't know. It is still not clear what its true purpose is. British and American researchers from the University of St Andrews and the Jordanian Department of Antiques and the American Centre of Research, a lot of people involved in this, had been given permission to conduct remote sensing in and around the monument. They were aiming to assess the condition of the areas around the site using electromagnetic conductivity and ground-penetrating radar. Ground-penetrating radar. Get the penetration in. But ended up making a much more exciting discovery. When the survey found what appeared to be underground chambers, the researchers carried out an excavation and found the tomb. A picture provided by University of St Andrews of people that I can only describe, and I'm not going to take the piss, as, well, whoever took the picture, it might be just the way it looks on my screen. It looks out of focus, just saying. Alright. Also, it's not even just a little bit out of focus, actually it's heavily out of focus. I'm not here to critique photos that people can't see when I'm trying to describe them to them, but I'll carry on. One of the skeletons discovered was grasping the top part of a broken jug that most likely dates to the 1st century BC. Oof. Richard Bates, a geophysicist, that took me longer to say that than it really should have done, and professor at the University of St Andrews, told Sky News partner network NBC News the remains most likely include both men and women and range in age from children to adults. The researchers believe the discovery could provide new insight into the treasury and the people of the Nabatean kingdom. What the fuck is he carrying around? Sorry. You know, I didn't even let that sink in, the previous sentence, and I've looked at a picture of someone. I don't even know what that is. I'm guessing it's some sort of apparatus or some sort of equipment that they use to scan or censor or ground penetrate. I don't know. Again, the picture is provided by the University of St Andrews. Fantastic. I mean, you got to put some people doing work in it, but I don't really understand what they're doing. It's just carrying what looks to be like a briefcase on its side with a wheel at the back and a pole to drag it. That's all I can really say. It is probably some sort of very expensive equipment that I've just completely trashed. The discovery is of international significance, as very few complete burials from the early Nabateans have ever been recovered from Petra before. The burials, their goods, and the human remains can all be expected to help fill in the gaps of our knowledge in how Petra came to be and who the Nabateans were, Professor Bates said. I want to just point out, like, even if it is a scientific and, you know, historical breakthrough, I don't care how committed I am to, you know, finding shit, if I'm the most enthusiastic archaeologist in the world. You ain't paying me anywhere near enough to go into a tomb that's not been entered for over 2,000 years. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's not happening. It's not happening. I don't believe in ghosts. I don't believe in ghouls. I don't believe in spirits and shit. But even so, is it worth going into a sacred chamber of what would have been, in some respects, a sacred chamber for the very mere chance that a curse is placed on you? I just don't think it's worth it. But then if you're an archaeologist and you literally strive for this shit, then maybe that's the wrong attitude to take. I don't know. God, gotta stay hydrated. Stay hydrated, everyone. Here's your water intake reminder. You know, you don't have to set a reminder on your phone. I can just do it for you. You know, I do it all. I do it all. I'm bringing you news, scientific breakthroughs, historical breakthroughs, and the England manager being a German now. That's the level we're at. You know, that is where we're at. But yeah, just I did actually get a thing on my phone the other day that said, "Oh, you can get your phone to remind you to take a drink of water." And on my smartwatch, it can tell me, it gives you a reminder to stand up. How fucking innately just dumb are we as a race right now that there has to be an app or a function on an app or a function in the phone to tell you to drink fucking water, and on my smartwatch to tell me to stand up? Are people just not fucking moving or not drinking water? How does that even work? How do you not die? Surely there should be the biological need to do both those things without being prompted to by an external device. I just don't get it. That it baffled me that there was even an option on my phone. I was like, no, I don't need you to tell me when to drink water. I can guess when I'm fucking parched that I probably should have drunk more water to then seek out water. It's like, if people have this sort of need for this stuff on their phones and on their smartwatches, how do these people not drown? How do they know that they've had enough water? You know, because that is possible. You can drink too much water and you can literally drown yourself in your own body. It's fucking scary to think about. It's also, like, I would say, common sense that if you need water and you need to have a drink, you don't go out and have like a 4-gallon jug of water. You have, a regular, 500 milliliter of water, and then you're done. Until you need water again. But if you've got the reminder, if you need a reminder to tell you to drink water, then surely you also need a reminder to not drink too much water in case you drown yourself. I just think those two things need to be implemented together, coexist. I don't know. But yeah, my watch tells me sometimes, do you want me to tell you to stand up? And I just be like, why? Why do you tell me to stand up? No one tells me to stand up. I take the knee. That's what I do. I take the knee out of just pure disobedience. I'm not letting technology tell me. Anyway, just kind of ignore that. I just went on a tangent for I don't know, 4 minutes or so. Archaeologists found the walls within the tomb were dated to between the mid-1st century BC and the early 2nd century AD. The excavation of the newly revealed tomb was featured in a 2-part episode of the American reality television series Expedition Unknown that aired on Discovery Channel. I would like just to know, the Discovery Channel, this is obviously right in their wheelhouse. This is, right up their street. When did they start, getting into sport and shit? Because the Discovery Channel, I'm pretty sure, is at least in this country, it might not be the same in America or abroad, but they started doing sports on the Discovery Channel. Like TNT, is that not part of Discovery? Or maybe it was BT. I can't remember. Just ignore what I said. Just forget it. Just forget it. But yeah. So a new secret tomb discovered. Crazy stuff. And I will, we'll just say again, flat out, only decided to talk about this because of Indiana Jones. And it might not even be in one of the Indiana Jones films. If it's not, I apologise. Well, to a certain degree. Don't push it. At the end of the day, you're still listening to it. So you just got to chill out, ain't you? But yeah, the fact that it's carved into the rock, into the fucking rock side, that is the sort of shit they're carving back in the day. No tools. Well, they probably had tools, but they didn't have any fucking like laser grids or anything like that. You didn't have no fucking Greg or Gary putting a fucking pillar on the piss. Do you know what I mean? It had to be dead on. Otherwise, everyone who's carving into the rock is probably going to die. They're trying to claw their way out of this fucking absolute shit show of rock that's just pounding down on them because Gary and Greg decided to accidentally, wear uneven footwear for the day. So now everything's made on the fucking skoo whiff. Oh dear. I didn't mean to single out Gary and Greg. Alright. There's probably a lot of good labourers, builders, renderers, whatever you want to say. They're both called Gary and Greg. Respect to you. It's a dying trade. You need more people in the trades. Because, you just don't fucking turn up half the time. Do you know what I mean? Now, look, there's a big supply for tradies because there's not enough people in trades. So that's why they don't turn up, I think. I don't know because I'm not a tradie. And every single one I've met has got the worst invoicing system in the world. Like, everything's lowercase. Nothing like this. This is what I'm charging for at this property, done this work, all lowercase, no caps. No cap. Disgusting. That's one of the things that I'm OCD about the most is capital letters. Like, if I see an email and the first letter is lowercase, I honestly do have the decision to make, and it enters my mind. Do I just bin this off without reading the rest of it? Because there's no capital letter at the start. I don't even care if they get my name wrong. If the greeting at the start is not spelt with a capital letter, if it's like hello and a bit of lowercase h, that's going straight into the bin. Honestly, I don't know why. I've probably missed on some opportunities for that. But at the end of the day, how are you not pressing that shift key when you're hitting the first letter? What are you doing? What are you doing wrong with your life? Well, that's a good question to ask myself. Anyway, as I contemplate that, I want to thank you all for watching, listening, from wherever you are doing so. I hope you are doing so safely as well. And I hope, you're having a good day, whatever you're doing. If you're having a bad day at work, I hope this has helped in some way. If you're having a good day at work, I hope this hasn't ruined it. If you're driving, I hope you're still alive if you've been trying to fiddle with your phone whilst you're in the ditch. I'm sure the emergency services will be on their way. Good opportunity to probably plug getting the What 3 Words app, just in case. I don't really know how it works. I'm guessing it splits the entire of the UK up into 3 words for each so many squared, I don't know, meters. And then you can just say where you are. But that would need you to be alive. So maybe that's not a good idea. I'll tell you what would be good to plug. just for the last couple of minutes, you can become a member, a VIP, some say, of the APMA channel. You can do that for as little as $4.99. You get 2 extra VIP episodes a month. They range from about half an hour to 45 minutes. Sometimes I have done an hour one before. It's not unheard of. I talk about more topical news stories. The latest one I did, I included a story about someone trying to commit 3 crimes at once, one of them being possibly being a drugs mule, with a bag that said that it definitely didn't contain drugs inside. Interesting tactic. I did go into that a little bit more detail on the VIP episode. But yeah, that's there if you want it. $4.99. Not going to continue the plug too long, but it is what it is. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, England have got a German coach. SpaceX have developed a rocket booster that has successfully returned to the point at which it left. And there's a new tomb discovered in Petra. There you go. There's your news. Do you need any more? I don't know. Do you need more? Is there any more important news than that? Apart from the war in both sides of the world. Because I don't really get... I honestly don't like looking at the news because it is mostly negative. But I thought these stories, the England coach could be... That's either way. But the other two, they're pretty positive. One of them's, in my view, more positive than the other, being because I love space. But, yeah, we've got the potential now. We've got the potential to reuse shit. Let's go to the moon. Let's go to Mars. You know, let's get fucked up and go to Mars. Set up a colony and go from there. Nothing will go wrong. Nothing will go wrong. Because, I mean, let's be honest. I don't want to get all like doomsday on you lot. You lovely, lovely people. But we're fucked, aren't we? We are. We're fucked. Here is fucked. It's fucked. I don't think there is any other way to say it other than it's fucked. It's fucked though, isn't it? Anyway, I'll leave you with that one. I'll leave you with that great little juicy nugget of hope and damnation. Once again, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Hopefully we'll get Jordan and Dan on the next one. This one I had to do a little bit short notice because my Thursday became unavailable because of stuff that I've got to sort out. Unfortunately, nothing major, but something that I do need to get sorted out. And needs to be done as soon as possible. So I thought I'd record this episode and get it out to you guys. Just so you've got a little bit of something to perhaps occupy some time in your day. But yeah, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. And I'll see you in the next one. Up the APMA. Bye-bye for now.